The final award of this evening is for the Lifetime Achievement Award, which recognizes the exceptional colleague who has been working for a considerable amount of time in visual arts engagement, learning or education in the UK. This year, Engage and the Marsh Charitable Trust have selected a dedicated this award to Sue Clive, MBE, who sadly passed away earlier this year. Sue has mentored and befriended to many who continue to work in visual arts engagement. Sue's family are receiving this award and plan to make a donation to Action Disability for art materials to support their youth schemes. We had hoped to be joined by Victoria Tandy and Lindsay Fryer tonight, but we have asked Jane Sinners to join us alongside Lindsay to present the award, or actually to speak to the award. So can I pass to you both now?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Rod. I'm going to say a few words, as Rod has explained, in place of Virginia Tandy, who sadly isn't able to be with us this evening, and then I'll pass over to Lindsay. Sue had a pivotal role in the development of gallery education, and in her work, she placed an emphasis on having conversations about art and making practical work in response to original art, often in situ in a gallery. I met Sue in the 1980s at Corner House in Manchester, and Sue supported my interest in gallery education, which at that time was a really new area of practice. Sue studied stage design in the 1950s in London, and then raised her family in Gloucestershire. And it's lovely to have members of Sue's family here this evening. She trained and worked as an English and art teacher in Gloucester and Manchester, where she hosted artist residencies and took students to museums and galleries. While studying for a master's, Sue became interested in children and young people engaging in contemporary art and started work in galleries across the Northwest and beyond. Many colleagues have mentioned meeting Sue delivering practical workshops with children and young people, particularly alongside the Arts Council of England Big Print Touring Exhibition, and has spoken about Sue's remarkable ability to draw out the curiosity and creativity of children and young people. Sue set up the education programme at Corner House with Sue Grayson Ford, Virginia Tandy, Bev, by the way, and many others. Sue loved Corner House, and Virginia has mentioned that she even had the Corner House logo on her van. I know that both Virginia, Sue, and many other colleagues who work with Sue are really sad not to be here this evening. Sue ran a pilot education programme at the Hayward Gallery in London. She then went on to work as an evaluator and a writer, collaborating, for example, with Sarah Selwood on Cabinet of Curiosities. Sue helped set up Engage. Lindsay's going to say lots more about that in a moment. And she was a fabulous trustee of Arnolfini and also of Magic Me. Sue consistently supported colleagues working in the sector, acting as a mentor and sharing her amazing knowledge and connections across the art world. She had an extensive print collection, and she loved gardening, creating beautiful gardens in Gloucestershire and with residents where she lived in London. In the 2000s, Sue was delighted to receive an MBE for her services to the arts. When she retired, with typical generosity, Sue shared the experience with the party at Tate Modern for friends, family, and colleagues. Sue touched so many people's lives. In discussing a tribute for Sue with her daughter Lucy, who's here this evening, and colleagues, we decided it would be really lovely to pool and publish some of the many experiences that family, friends, and colleagues have had of Sue. Engage will publish those by next year. So please look at the Engage website for an invitation to contribute if you'd like to. And I'm now going to pass over to Lindsay.
Thank you, Jane, and thank you for inviting me to say a few words about Sue. Hello to everyone. Sue's always been part of my journey, my story in gallery education, from as early as the mid-1980s. Starting when I joined Arnolfini, probably 84, 85, I think, can't remember. Sue was already part of a fairly small group of people in galleries who were really passionate about access to the arts and how education programs in galleries could be the route into arts for everyone. I was lucky enough to become part of that group, sharing our passions, politics, and our practice. Sue was an inspiration, as we all know. She hosted that small group of people in her Gloucestershire home. She listened intently, posing difficult but critical and urgent questions. She was immensely kind and generous in the sharing of her knowledge and experience while keeping us all on track and feeding us, of course. When Sue asked us what we wanted to achieve, how bold was the ambition for a national organisation, we all agreed that we wanted to change the world. So we were very ambitious, as all of our colleagues are. I know that I was on a very, very steep learning curve then, and it felt like I was trying to fly a plane whilst building it. But with Sue's continued support of the new emerging Engage, we have seen an ongoing growth of our national and our international network of fellow professionals and professional practice training and mentoring. We have new people constantly coming through into the field, and increasingly many, many artists developing social engagement into their practice. We have national campaigns and awards, and every gallery in the country, and subsequently across Europe and beyond, as far as Australia and Japan, every gallery has built an educational program that is a core part of their work, benefiting generations of children, young people, and adults. Well, I believe Sue's original question to us was a catalyst for that change and that development. From 1990, when I became the first full-time education officer at Arnolfini, I began to map out an educational strategy underpinned by a developing theoretical model and a creative practice, with Sue always there as a critical friend. And whenever she was in Bristol, we would always meet up. And when she became trustee of Arnolfini in 1995, I felt so privileged to have her as part of the governing body, always gently campaigning for change at the core of the organisation. My achievements there, I'm sure, were due to Sue, having Sue in my corner. And when I moved to Tate Liverpool in 1999, Sue was thrilled. And on my trips to London, we could continue our long chats over many dinners and breakfasts, as Sue generously gave me a warm welcome in her home, inviting me to stay over. I will always treasure those conversations. So Sue's sphere of influence has been vast, and her kindness and generosity has touched so many people over so many years. This award is a testament to the impact of a lifetime of excellence in everything she did. And I congratulate her on this award. Thank you to Marsh for giving her this award. Thank you.